Hello and welcome to the overview and setup of Integration Studio. In this lesson, we will first talk about what is Integration Studio, how to install Integration Studio into your computer, and what are the two most common scenarios for using Integration Studio. For one of these scenarios, we will need to install Microsoft Visual Studio as a dependency. We're going to look into that and we'll see how we can configure Integration Studio to use the freshly installed Visual Studio. So what is Integration Studio? Integration Studio is part of the OutSystems Development Environment Suite. This means that if you have installed Service Studio, you already have Integration Studio on your machine. It enables the creation of extensions for the OutSystems platform, whereby you create components that integrate with other systems, external databases, or even allow you to write your custom code. In Integration Studio, the developer defines and develops these components that are then published to the server as a special kind of module called an extension, which can then be referenced, consumed by Service Studio modules for use in your web and mobile applications. As mentioned, Integration Studio is part of the OutSystems Development Environment package, so it is installed together with Service Studio. So if you've seen the splash installation screen, you've already got installed. In the unlikely event that you do not have any of these components installed, just follow the link underneath and download them from the OutSystems site. Once installed, you just need to launch it and connect Integration Studio to the OutSystems server that you normally use to develop with Service Studio. The two common uses for using Integration Studio are writing custom .NET code to be included into your applications, to appear within your applications as actions, or to import external database tables and make them visible from within the OutSystems platform to be used as per normal. Lessons will follow that will go in depth into both of these scenarios. In the case of using Integration Studio to create your own code, you will need to install Microsoft Visual Studio. Visual Studio is an IDE created by Microsoft that allows you to develop in many languages, including C# and Visual Basic. In the case of Integration Studio, you will want to use Visual Studio to develop C#.NET code that will then be available for OutSystems. The process of installing Microsoft Visual Studio is quite simple, and the OutSystems 11 platform supports Visual Studio 2017, including the free Community Edition. Visual Studio should be obtained directly from Microsoft, and you should install it in the developer's machines, so not in the OutSystems server. During the process of installation, it is sufficient to select the Profile.NET desktop development. After installation of Microsoft Visual Studio, Integration Studio will automatically detect the installation path of Visual Studio and configure its options. Should you need to go into these options to maybe set up particular settings for the compilation, you can do so from the Integration Studio options menu. So, what did we cover in this lesson? We talked a little bit about what is Integration Studio, how to install Integration Studio together with Service Studio, and how to connect to it. We talked about the two common scenarios that you normally go to Integration Studio to develop on. And for the scenario of code development, we learned about the necessity to install Microsoft Visual Studio and how you can configure and fine-tune this installation. And that's it. Thank you for attending this lesson.